This is the Lug Nuts Podcast. In this episode, we cover the 2019 New York Auto Show, and Zac announces that Lincoln buyers are no longer required to have blue hair and lather up with Ben Gay. Enjoy the show.
I have fired it up.
Fired it up.
We are recording.
It's an electric car, so we don't. That's why we don't hear the exhaust sound. It's on.
It's on.
Yeah, that's what electric.
Someone
cars
got
do.
into my car, which is not even an electric car; it's a hybrid, and was like, "Man, these things still freak me out." Just because I pushed the button and it was on, but the engine wasn't on. Anyway, I digress.
No. Well, welcome back, as always. Before we start, I want to give a little shout-out to a couple listeners.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have listeners?
We have, besides, immediate family members. These are some listeners from Maryland.
Okay.
This is Jack and his son, Sam.
Okay.
I'm not going to say their last name for... privacy purposes.
Yeah, well, and they may not want to admit in public they listen to our podcast either.
But Jack and Sam, we appreciate you listening. And Jack was wondering why, Hot Wheels doesn't have the Koenigsegg. I can never say that word.
Koenigsegg
Car. That's a good question, Sam. I agree they should come out with it. It probably costs too much to license it, so that's probably
why. They
why.
probably have to license all those cars.
Yeah. So, Sam, ask your dad how that works, and he'll explain why they don't have that.
Okay.
We would love to talk more about Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and Sam, you're going to be excited tonight because we're going to talk about the Ford Mustang reveal at the New York Auto Show. I can't tell you why we don't make school buses out of Bugattis. That's one question.
Like taping a bunch of Bugattis together and making...
I think that's what Sam wants.
Or
and that's what you got to love about
giant
kids.
I love that idea too, to be honest.
Yeah, we applaud you for this idea.
Those are it's some ingenuity. They're right there.
Exactly. So don't lose the dream. Go to college, do well in school, and get an engineering degree and make that happen.
Make a Bugatti bus.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
So Sam and Jack and Sam, thank you for listening. And here we go with the show.
I can't believe that sounds like real people.
I know it is real people.
We have real people out there listening to us.
Speaking of real things,
anyway,
let's talk about real cars that were revealed at the New York Auto Show.
Yeah, the New York Auto Show is actually, as we speak, still going on. Of course, there's been a lot of press and stuff from the press days that precede it. But yeah, there are some interesting things that are there, and some of them might get. Some of them are a little meh.
And some of them are a little, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the meh or...
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's our new...
This is the episode. Is this a new category?
This may be a new feature.
This is a new feature.
The yeah or meh.
Yeah or meh.
Yeah.
I like it.
So what were some of your... Let's start with the positives. Let's start with the yeah. What were some of your yeah from the auto show?
My biggest yeah was did you see the picture of the 2020 Hyundai Elantra? Was it the Elantra?
The Elantra, no, the Sonata.
Sonata. Sorry, I screwed it up already. The 2020 Hyundai Sonata.
I love it.
I never thought I'd be like talking about a Hyundai Sonata being like, it looks really cool. Like, I really like that car and can't wait to see it. But here I am.
It's gorgeous.
I think it looks really great. Twitter was kind of polarized by it. Automotive Twitter had varying viewpoints of hatred and love and not a whole lot in between. Some people said the front looked like a catfish. Personally, I love the lines. I really like it.
I do too. I didn't see this. Was this at the auto show or is this just?
This was revealed at the auto show.
Okay, so yeah, this looks cool, and the fact that they're going to come out with the N. The N line?
An N line. So N line, for those of you who don't know, is sort of Hyundai's performance, oriented cars.
Yeah. So they have the Veloster right now.
The Veloster N is one, but they're going to be expanding the N to some others. I think even like the Kona, like some weird, odd cars that you wouldn't think they're going to get an N badge behind them are actually going to get an N badge.
So check it out. I mean, I think the grill and kind of the front end, may be a little polarizing, but we often talk on this show about how so many cars are meh in the sense of like
trying to appeal to everyone.
They just appeal to everyone, and by doing that, they appeal to no one.
Yeah, or I mean, I guess there's people who don't care, but I would rather see a car that I hate than I don't know, than to see another like thing that looks like, I don't know, a Toyota Highlander or something.
Yeah. Well, and so I have to say that the Highlander was one of my sort of cars from the show.
Really?
Yeah, I like this styling language they're using with all of their stuff. You see it with the new RAV4. You see it with this Highlander. It's more angular. It's less kind of
More
like
aggressive.
Yeah, more aggressive. And I mean, I was at the dealership getting my truck serviced, and I saw, I was looking at the RAV4s, and then I was looking at like the Camrys, and I jokingly was asking the salesperson, so when's the TRD coming in? Which I think is just goofy that you would buy a TRD version of a Camry.
Yeah.
But the Camry is like, it's not your grandma's Camry.
No, it's not.
And I think that's what Toyota's realized, and they're realizing like, the looks of this more like aggressive kind of style, it's working.
Yeah.
And the RAV4 is their number one seller. They're getting this one in there. To me, this looks like a bigger RAV4. Essentially, it's a 3-row vehicle, bigger engine than RAV4, but has a similar kind of powertrain setup and everything that the RAV4 has. And it's a Toyota. Like, so you'll buy it, it'll hold its value. You'll get another one. So the check it out. That was again the Highlander, and they're also gonna have the a plug-in hybrid version.
Yeah, they're gonna have. It's a plug-in hybrid of it.
Oh no, not plug-in. Sorry,
it's a hybrid version.
Just a hybrid version. Yeah. So what's another? So that was a for me. What's another? Yeah,
I'm gonna throw you a curveball here.
Uh-oh.
Toyota Yaris.
I saw that one.
Okay, here. So they canceled it, and like to me. It's interesting. I'm almost more interested in like cars like this than I am in like supercars in a way, just because
you could actually own this.
Well, I mean, just supercars are like, they're just so ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. It's like why I don't sit around thinking about Italian supermodels. Like I'm never going to meet them. They're not interested in me.
Let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic about my life. Anyway, no, but what this is like to me. Like almost an underserved segment of the market. It's like just a decent economical hatchback car. Now, what this basically is, I believe, or at least what it used to be. Crap, I should have looked this up more. This used to share like a platform with the Mazda 2, which was not available in the United States.
Oh, okay.
And I think this may, someone's going to correct me. I think this actually basically is the Mazda 2 now in the U.S.
Okay.
It's not brought by Mazda. Mazda and Toyota have some partnership. There might be partial ownership there.
What's the drivetrain on this going to be? Can you get this in a manual? I'm kind of putting you on the spot with. Well, you brought it up, so
yeah, I should know more about it. Yeah, I you know what? I don't really honestly know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to that direction where it's CVTs just for efficiency purposes.
Okay,
but
because you can get the new Corolla. I sat in a new Corolla, and I was blown away by the fit and finish and everything else of a Corolla.
Yeah,
again, like we were saying earlier, like we never thought we'd be like. This is a sexy Hyundai, like we said earlier.
But it's small hatch, yeah.
But now, like, the Corolla, like, I just think if you want a car that gets 42 miles to the gallon, I think it's somewhere around there.
Might be still kind of small and tossable.
Yeah, and, like, fun to drive because you can get it with a 6-speed manual. And all of the safety nannies.
So that's the other thing about Toyota now that, like, makes them, I think, you really have to consider it, is that even the base trim of every single one of their vehicles includes all of their active safety stuff.
Yeah.
Every single vehicle, like, doesn't matter which trim. So a lot of other cars, you're going to have to get like the top end trim or whatever to get, adaptive cruise control or pedestrian avoidance or, all the things that you would have to pay, $6,000 and $8,000 and $10,000 more to get.
Just comes standard.
Just right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Toyota, and going back to the Camry thing, I'm kind of going backwards here a little bit, but like the Camry is one of those that still has, like, there's still a naturally aspirated V6 in that gets like 290 horsepower or something. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot to go. It's front wheel drive only, so it's a lot of.
Yeah, it's not everything I've read is it's not like a driver's car.
No.
As much of a driver's car. It's comfortable. It rides well, and it gets, it's reliable and everything else.
It's a Camry.
Well, in that same vein of the Camry, so to leave you on the Yaris note, that's coming and that's going to be available, which is cool. We're excited. But in the same vein of the Camry, and this is a little sad to me. I read this week that they are they're kind of limiting as how do I put this? They're not going to be building as many Accords as they historically have.
Really?
So they are now no longer going to be running the. They're going to idle their second shift production starting in August in Ohio. And it just kind of makes me sad because, I think of the Accord as, just such an icon in the sedan world.
My first car was an Accord.
They're great cars.
I think my brother, I was a hand-me-down car, but
they're great cars.
They're great cars. It was an 82 Accord maroon. But it's just one of those times they are a changing kind of thing. For how many years was the Camry and the Accord were the competitors for the top one and the number 1 and 2 slots for the best selling car in America?
Yeah. It's just for me. It's I don't know. I feel like it's sort of when we mentioned in a previous episode that they built the last Ford Taurus.
Yeah,
and I get that it's like, okay, get with the time, Sam. But it's sort of the nostalgic piece of me. And I gotta say, people, the Accord that's an awesome car that you can get a 6-speed manual in. So, and I saw one in a parking lot, like a red one, and I thought it was an Audi for a split second. They look so good.
The interiors are nice too.
Oh my gosh,
the interiors are really nice.
So and that kind of brings up a topic that we can discuss at another time. But
we got to stick to our yes and our mez.
Yes, I know we're getting off there. But here's something I want to just plant the seed to our listeners. Think about this. It's obvious that people want or are buying trucks and SUVs, but is that because they really want them, or is that because that's what the car manufacturers are kind of catering towards? Is that what the car manufacturers want them to have?
Well, so, the profits are probably higher on the crossover, so they're probably happy to sell more trucks. I mean, the profit margin on a truck is pretty ridiculous.
The average is $11,500
of pure profit per unit.
Yes,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money.
So but anyway, let's get back to our yes and mays. But think about that, people. What's driving this? Is it you, the consumer, or is the manufacturer saying buy a crossover or a truck? But okay, back to yes and mays. Here is a what's kind of a meh for me. In the crossover realm is the new Outback.
That's a yeah for me.
Really?
It is.
So it's a yeah for you and a meh for me.
It's a yeah for me because here's why. If you've ever driven both back to back, which I did, I think last year on a test drive, and both both engine configurations, you can either get the 2.5 liter Boxer naturally aspirated or the 3.6 liter Boxer.
The 6-cylinder.
It's a 6-cylinder. It's a Boxer 6,
which is now going to be dead.
They're killing that one. Okay,
killing that one.
So it's to be replaced. Here's why it's good. They're replacing it with a turbocharged 4, which I think has been a good engine for Subaru. And I think it's going to get a little bit. I don't know. It seems like an engine that's maybe more appropriate for that vehicle. When I drove the 6-cylinder Subaru 3.6 liter cylinder 3.6 liter 6-cylinder Subaru last year. That's the one, like, as far as engine goes, that's the one to get. The 2.5 liter, which I actually owned one briefly, just underpowered, really. So maybe I'm biased here too because we live at altitude. So turbocharged engines tend to do better here. They do. Just like when you're going up and over the mountains, it's just like you don't notice that power lag like you would with a naturally aspirated car.
That's true.
So that's a yeah.
So
for me,
you're
honestly.
yeah
I'm
on
yeah
that?
for that.
Well, I mean, and like you said, that engine's great. I think when I look at it, and I guess why mess with a good thing, which is probably kind of what they were going with. It's like, hey, this is such a great seller. People
that's their
love
number one
these.
seller.
Yeah, so I get it, but it's like it looks the same. It I don't know. It's a very conservative move on their part.
I think Subaru has become. I mean, they're kind of a conservative company, though, don't you think?
Yes, very much so.
With the exception of like the WRX, like all of their cars, I feel like are pretty conservative and have gotten more conservative. I mean, they used to have other options that were a little more fun. They had like the
the SVX
or the Legacy GT. That was like a sleeper with some balls.
Yeah,
So-
I kind of wish, Subaru, like, come on, more WRX themed models. Like, come on, throw them out there. But
Yeah.
so that's funny. That's
That's that's the point of disagreement. Okay,
Yep.
here's another one that hit this one, and maybe it was, I don't know if it's taking us down a rabbit hole there. The new Mustang EcoBoost. Or we want to hold on to that one?
Yeah, you can talk about it. I got to pull up the stats.
I don't know
on
a ton about it. So basically, it's they're getting a 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine in the Mustang,
Yes.
which is bound to upset the purists.
Well, they've had it. It's been in there.
Really?
It's they phased out the V6 a while ago, and they stuck with the 4-cylinder and the V8.
Okay.
And for a purist Mustang fan, the V8 is where it's
yeah.
at.
Well,
And
that's the classic muscle
They
car.
sound amazing.
Yeah.
And that engine and pretty good gas mileage and everything else for a high output V8.
Yeah.
But yeah, this new one, you essentially, as I read, it's sort of like having. Think of like the Focus RS rear wheel drive. That's sort of what I read was, that's what you're getting with this.
Okay.
And
Hoon a little bit out there then, huh?
I like it.
Hoonage. I like the idea.
I like it, and I love the new like styling of a Mustang.
I do like the styling. Yeah. Like
and-
the Bullet is the one that like.
I know that one
God.
blows you away,
I
but
love that one.
But yeah, this one, I wish I had it. I wish I had it pulled up on here. Actually, let me get it pulled up. But yeah, this one seems to be. That's exactly what it says from Autoblog. It's like, it's your rear drive Focus RS.
Yeah.
So yeah, this really is the Focus RS engine, not just a derivative like the regular EcoBoost. So that's the Mustang EcoBoost kind of announcement.
Okay.
So
What's our next yeah or meh?
Mine would be, this is so funny. I feel like an old person saying this. The Lincoln Corsair. I hope I'm saying it right.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So this is the Lincoln version of the Ford Escape. I think it's really attractive. I think it's a really attractive car. I am definitely a huge fan of Lincoln's Navigator and Aviator. The styling, I feel like it's the 20s or something. Like they have this classic look to them.
Mm-hmm.
They remind me of what like Lincoln should be. Like this really classy, high end, not old people.
Like I feel like Lincoln,
not
like,
old people.
It's one of those brands that I forget is even like still made, honestly, until like, and like just like you said, like the Navigator and the Aviator are both have kind of been making waves in the automotive media.
Yeah.
It seems to be a well-received vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it's like it's made it's classy. It doesn't feel like you have to be smelling like Ben Gay and have blue hair to drive one. I don't want to stereotype older people, but
I thought the Lincoln, is it the Continental? What's the one that's
the Lincoln Continental was the classic, or the Lincoln Town Car were the ones that were
but you think of that
bread and
now,
butter.
like they're just so meh. Like, but like these SUVs, the styling is just it's gorgeous.
It is.
It does it not remind you of like the 20s? Like it just has this kind of roaring 20s kind of look to them.
It kind of does. It's like there's chrome. I think that there's maybe their use of chrome. I think it's their some of the styling cues and some of their choices of materials on the inside of the car is maybe what gives it that feel.
Yeah. So again, this one's based off of the Escape, and then there's the Aviator and the Navigator, which I'm a huge fan. Yeah. So that's a yay for me.
Okay. Here's keeping in that same sort of size and not same segment because it's not luxury, but the Hyundai Venue was another new announcement.
I don't know that.
Do you know that?
No.
Google real quick. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. Through the miracle of podcasting technology, the listeners heard no gap. What is a yeah or a meh for you?
I would say yeah, but let's remind them what it was.
So it's a compact. It's another one of these compact crossovers, which I'll just argue is a compact hatchback.
A little bit higher seating position,
ever so slightly, but it gets a yeah for me because it's an addition to their line, and I think it's it's probably trying to fill holes in their lineup. It seems like a lot of auto manufacturers are just trying to find like little parts of the market maybe that they're not meeting, and this is that. I think it's going to be relatively compact. It's inexpensive. Still, the interiors on Hyundais, just in general, I really think that's where they really kind of punch above their weight.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Hyundai Venue.
Yeah,
So,
it's a new one. Check it out.
yeah.
Worth a look. And actually, it's not like a concept or anything. It's coming. It's by the end of this year. It will be on dealer lots.
Well, another from me from the show, which is totally a concept car. Volkswagen brought a small truck concept.
Oh yeah.
I can't pronounce this. I don't know. Tanoke. Volkswagen Tanoke
How do you spell it?
concept. It's tan and then oak. Tanoke. Yeah.
Tanoak.
Oh, let's go with that.
Tanoak.
So Volkswagen, they rumored that they were going to, and it sounds like on the next Ranger, they're going to basically build their version of a truck that's not going to probably come to the U.S. It's like going to be on the next Ranger platform, and it's the Amarok, and I'm probably butchering these names, but anyway.
That's like real popular, I think, in South America.
Yes.
In Brazil, I believe that's a popular vehicle for them in Brazil.
So they showed what the new one's going to look like based off of what the new Ranger will look like, yada, yada, yada. Probably not going to come to the United States, but this new one, this Tanoke, whatever, this one's smaller. This is actually like a compact truck because it's 193 inches versus 210 inches of a Ranger. And so they're kind of getting a feel for it. Like, yes, we need compact trucks again. Like, we don't have any compact trucks.
We don't have them, and they've gotten bigger. And I can't remember, God, where. I'll have to look this up. Maybe there's something with the way they're able to kind of game. There's something with fuel economy, the way like the fleet economy is calculated that makes manufacturers lean towards larger vehicles actually in the truck because they get more. It's something, I don't know, some goofy shit with the way the laws are.
Well, this is a unibody, like,
so yeah. This is unibody, right? This is not.
So this, they're kind of saying, oh well,
it's like a Ute. You know what it is? It's like a Ute. In Australia,
like
they have like the Utes, which is basically like an El Camino. That like Australia never got the memo that El Caminos weren't being made anymore, and they just kind of ran with that concept. Good on ya. Really.
Well, and the thing is, like, they're like, oh, the Honda Ridgeline isn't a big fan favorite, but it's a great vehicle. Like, people say it's the truck for the untruck person.
Yeah, it drives like a car, feels like a car.
But then you have the utility of the bed and everything else, which is the benefit of a truck. So, yes, please, like, bring this one to the U.S. And maybe what it'll do is it'll force the U.S. Manufacturers to then counter with something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things where that's what's going to have to make U.S. manufacturers kind of meet that demand as someone else doing it first. We talked about it on a previous episode. We've not seen anything else about it at this auto show. Was the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which is like the same kind of concept, like a super compact truck.
Yeah.
So like I think there's a need for that. I think they would sell, honestly.
So do I, because you have the practicality of a truck, but I mean, you don't really need a huge. Most people aren't using them for what they're originally intended for.
No,
So, but if you have that little bit of a bed space there, a little cab thrown on it, it's a great little camping vehicle.
Yeah, totally.
So
that's a for me. I guess. I can't say I would be in the market for one of those personally, but it's a for me. Okay, last one here. Is the new, and this has also been polarizing. What do you think of the new Ford Escape, the 2020 Escape? I'm not sure it was announced necessarily at the auto show, but they certainly, it was certainly there on display.
I like it.
You like it? It's a for you?
It's a yeah.
It's a for me too. Yeah. Honestly, it's car-like. It's more car-like than the outgoing Escape.
Yeah.
But they do have a hybrid version of it, and they do have an hybrid all-wheel drive version of it that is interestingly mechanically connected all-wheel drive. So Toyota's hybrid RAV4, which would be the closest competitor there, their hybrid is electric. The rear wheel drive, the rear wheels are driven by electric motors. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the engineers at Ford, for whatever reason, their decision was to go the other way. So they have it's mechanically connected to the drivetrain in the front.
The only thing that's funny with the Ford Escape to me is that it kind of looks like a Mazda.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Yeah, and I thought like, oh, it looks like a CX-5. And I remember, Ford, the Escape used to share the body with the Mazda Tribute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why when I looked at this, when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, that looks like a
Yeah, the
Mazda.
grill is
The grill, and then if you look at it from the side.
Oh, yeah. I see that. I see that.
So, not that that's a bad thing, because I love the design language of the Mazda. And this grill, it looks like a Ford grill. It has, the kind of the layout similar to what you're seeing in some of their other products. But yeah, no, it's a yeah for me. I've always, it's a yeah.
Yeah. So there were some conspicuous absences, I think, at this auto show. Things I was maybe not conspicuous absences, but things that I was hoping to see that I didn't. And one of those was at least a refresh teaser or something else about the Ford Bronco.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of. I know that they're supposed to be out 2020, and we've seen like a couple of releases of like patent design things for their doors and all this. But it's like, oh Lord, don't turn this into like the Toyota Supra that took 8 years.
8 years of buzz, and
it's
then
like, come on, Ford, like get it out there, because you're missing out right now too. There's people who will jump on this,
for sure.
I showed it to my wife as a potential future vehicle, because she really wants a Wrangler, and she loves the old square Broncos, and she always talks about, oh, I love that, but the reality is like daily driver.
No, you wouldn't want to live with that on a daily basis.
You don't want to drive that like down to Salt Lake from Park City, like you'll die. But yeah, so the new Bronco, get on it, Ford. I know we've had a couple of these camouflage deals.
Yeah, well, I was hoping to have something else, and we didn't get it. Interestingly, just yesterday, it hit the news, was that they filed a trademark for the Bronco Scout name. So maybe that's going to be a baby version of it, like maybe
a 2-door versus the 4-door.
Yeah, it's all speculation, but that's what they filed with the trademark and patents office or whatever.
Okay.
So that's out there. The other one that I was hoping for was some kind of announcement towards the WRX line and seeing when that's going to be refreshed, but still no refresh there, because I'm just secretly hoping they bring back the hatchback.
Yes.
I think I'm going to have to continue hoping.
Let's hope.
I may just.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the other one that wasn't at the show, but they were driving around kind of drumming up their own buzz for, I'm guessing midsummer release. Well, I know it's midsummer because it had the decal that said coming like in July, is the C8 Corvette.
Oh, the mid-engine one?
Yes.
Coming this year?
Yes.
Didn't they have problems with
it? They had lots of problems.
The chassis twisting
because of the sheer power.
Because of the torque?
But they were driving one around camouflaged around Manhattan, and and it said coming like 7/8/19. I just looked at the story really quickly, but it was like,
but it wasn't in the actual auto show.
It wasn't in the actual auto show, but it was sort of like they were driving around to kind of tease people, get people excited, and you can make out some of the lines and stuff on it. I think that car is going to be bonkers.
Really?
I think that car is.
Is it going to lose its Corvette? Like that's to me what that car is like, covered in stigma to me. Like I think whatever. I think of like old guy with pleated shorts
about it, and the denim shirt.
Denim shirt. Yeah, total. That's what I still think of that. Like I don't know.
I think you're going to have some people who will scoff at that idea at first, but the bottom line is they've milked every bit of performance out of a front engine car that they can.
True. So
in the various racing series.
Is this next one going to be mid-engine only, or are they going to have is it going to be two different options?
I had heard earlier that they were going to kind of let they'd still be developing like a C7 style, but
okay.
I don't think so. I mean, think of the cost of that.
Yeah,
to have to build both of those. I mean, the architecture would be completely different.
That's true. Yeah.
And we talked in an earlier episode that if right now, people, if you want a C7, there is a glut of them on dealer lots because, oh yeah,
Because people are waiting for the next one.
people know the C8's coming out, and
year end or whatever, December, you can probably get a sweet deal on a new C7 if you want. Yeah.
So I think you're going to see some amazing deals on C7s, which is not anything to sneeze at. That's
They're still fast as hell.
Amazing car.
Yeah, they're still fast as all get out. Yeah.
And honestly, it'd probably be good to get one and almost keep it as a collector's item. But we're kind of straying off our yay and meh.
Oh,
for
I
the
thought
week.
I thought we were done with that.
Well,
We kind of wrapped it up with the Ford Escape. Did you have another one?
no. That's it.
So we are done with it.
You had the Mazda. You were all excited about the Mazda reveal.
Oh, yeah. Well, because they sent me an email the day before. They're like, we're going to reveal something amazing tomorrow at the auto show. And I was like, ooh.
Mazda Speed Miata. Mazda Speed.
I thought that or like a Mazda Speed 3. I don't know what I thought. And you know what it was?
Diesel.
It was a diesel CX-5. That, yeah, I mean, like the CX-5 is great, but like, and it would have been, I think, even more amazing if they were like, this one gets 41 miles a gallon. But no, it gets like the same mileage basically as the unleaded one.
So what's the point?
I don't know, honestly.
And here's a little foreshadowing for our listeners that it's the end of April when we recorded this. I feel like something's coming with gas prices, and I think
they're going up.
I think they're going to go up. So I think these companies that are making hybrids, that's pretty smart because I think like.
Do you remember how prices fell and what was that? Was that in 2004, 2005 when gas prices got real high?
And then
the prices fell through the floor on SUVs at the time.
Yeah.
And people were like,
couldn't move them.
And it was, you couldn't move them. But like the ridiculousness of it was people spending money to buy a new car when it's like, if you do the math on what you're.
Just keep driving.
Just keep driving what you're driving. It's still probably cheaper in the long run, but people don't think that way.
No, they think of what their monthly payment is.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And in regards to that, if you're in the market, like I just have this feeling. I don't know. It's absolutely not based
something in the air.
Something in the air. This is based on absolutely no like economic data. I've had zilch. But I just feel like we've been riding high on the hog for a long time.
It's been cheap. It's been too good for a little too long, hasn't it?
Yeah. I just feel like when 2008 hit with the housing market crash, I feel like something's going to go down with gas.
Yeah, maybe.
So people, think about that when you're purchasing something.
Yeah.
So, well, that about wraps up what we wanted to cover with the New York Auto Show and kind of current.
Do we have any more
news?
news? Oh, one more thing. That I came across was this is, I don't think they announced this either, but I have an affinity lately for fast wagons. Wagons. I feel like, so this gets back to an earlier point that you made where it was like, well, why is there such a drive or demand for crossovers in America? And I feel like more people should be driving wagons. I feel like, I don't know. Yes. I feel like there's a segment there of people who like drive a crossover because they want the room or the convenience. It's like, no, what you really want is a wagon. You just don't know it. And you don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
So if you've got a lot of money and you want to like melt your face off, Audi, it's looking like, this is not confirmed, but this is in Car and Driver, Audi's looking like they are going to bring a RS6 Avant back to the United States.
Yes.
So it's basically, it's Quattro. It's got like something ridiculous. It's like a twin turbo V8. Bonkers, ridiculous.
Wow.
Way to go get your groceries and pick up your kids from soccer practice.
Yeah.
I fully support this for the record.
Yes.
And I look forward to looking at them on the used market in 8 years when they have fallen near to where I can
afford one. Yeah, I wish that we would get back to having more wagons. The next 3 Series is not even coming over with the wagon.
No.
And that's sad to me because, while the X3 is a great car and the X2 and the X1,
wagons are cool.
It's not a wagon,
Yeah, that one's gone. Like the save the Outback, the other, they used to have what was it, the Legacy?
It was just the Legacy.
The Legacy wagon that you could get. There are just so many wagons that are gone. I think the Volvo wagons, I don't think you can get can you get a Volvo? No, you can.
But their new wagons are like so long that they.
Yeah, you can still get a Volvo wagon.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Subaru Outback is the best-selling wagon in the United States, but Subaru doesn't even want to call it a wagon because they feel like that's like automotive cancer.
Yeah.
And they want you to call it a crossover.
Yeah.
which is fine. Whatever. It's still a wagon.
But listen up, people. Like that's a wagon, and it's their number one seller. So other car companies, please, more wagons.
More wagons, please.
More wagons.
More wagons.